Hello Stars fans, and welcome back to another exclusive interview right here on TexasStarsHockey.com. Josh Fisher now joined by the captain of the Texas Stars, Brad Lukowich. First guy we got here in town. We're excited to have players start showing up. Obviously we're still about a month away, but for you, it's been a long, interesting summer, and from what I understand, you've done just about everything and seen just about everybody you possibly could.
Yeah, I've been around. Unfortunately, summer's got to come to an end, and since my kids are almost as old as some of the players on this team, they got to be back in school earlier. So I'm here hanging out, enjoying the beautiful, cool weather down in Texas.
It's freezing down here.
Yeah, it's chilly. Grab a sweater.
We should try to go over 100 a little bit. Now, your summer, I mean, you did a lot of different things. Let's start with the fun stuff. Disneyland. I understand a couple days in Disneyland with the kids. That can wear out somebody. You know?
Yeah. Fortunately, I had a good friend, Elvis, our equipment guy, decided to go on a cross-nation tour and drive my vehicle for me, and while he was doing that, going north to Spokane, Washington, I took the family out to Disneyland in California and met up with a couple old friends out there and spent some good times out there. 70, 75 degrees, beautiful. The kids in California were still in school, so there was no lines. It was a great trip.
And then the rest of the summer, it seemed like camping type activities. I know you've got your lake house up there in British Columbia, and I know you took the kids up there. Lots of different things: swimming, hiking, you name it. You guys pretty much did it.
Yeah, we live in the back country a little bit. We live off of a small little lake, Moye, and we do everything: kayaking. We got a boat up there. We go hiking, mountain climbing. It's more just a family thing. My mom and dad have moved away since, but they all come back out. My brother's there, my sister, they all came back out, and good to see a lot of old friends. Did some fishing. Marley caught her first fish this year.
Nice.
And actually I've been there for 10 years, and I only caught my third, which is nice because it was a nice big one. So it was a real fun summer.
And of course, you've had a chance to see some of the guys. I mean, you mentioned before you got to go to Ray Sawada's wedding. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. And I mean, being in British Columbia, I mean, there's a lot of guys that were, Texas Stars that kind of live up there during the off season. Aaron Gagnon's a BC guy, and Sawada's a BC guy, and of course you got the Ben brothers too.
Yeah, we were up. We drove through Kelowna. We saw, and then went down to Vancouver. So we got to see Aaron and Gainey down there, and I was in the car when he was making his decisions. He was getting a lot of phone calls. It was a tough decision. I was trying to talk him into coming back, but he had too many options on the table. So it's good to see him get an opportunity to move on to go to Winnipeg, and Ray's wedding was a blast. It was great. Got to see Smoochie out there and have a good time with him. And then we went out to Victoria and hung out with the Ben brothers for a little bit. Did some golfing with my dad, and it's a good place to be out in BC. It's nice. When the lakes are going, most of the boys are out. They work out in the morning, and we go out and have our fun on the lake later on in the day.
A lot of people know you got a strong background as far as music is concerned, and you got to do a little summer touring with 3 Days Grace. Let's talk about some of the fun stuff there. I mean, do you get to go up and jam with them on stage with guitars and whatnot?
This was a festival thing. So, the first show was in Nashville, and I basically just got in right for the show. So it was amazing. Avenged Sevenfold. Their new drummer is insane, so I basically just stared at him the whole time, and they put on an amazing show. And then the 3 Days guys, a band that they're just amazing how great they sound every single night. And then I got to see Bullet for My Valentine for the first time. They just come out and they give an amazing energy show, and they're young guys that are just they're rockers, man. They're from Britain, and English guys. They take forever to get their stuff going. People are walking through the doors and they're still doing sound checks. So yeah, they're old school. It was a lot of fun. It was an eye opener. We went out to Charlotte and saw an amazing show out there. There was like 35,000 people there, and then my old buddy Sean Ham, who works for 3 Days Grace now, got up and did a Limp Bizkit thing. You got to check it out on YouTube. It's sick. They call him Hammer, and he gets out there and does break stuff with 3 Days Grace, and it is one of the coolest. It was 35,000 people just jumping out there, and it was an amazing sight. It was good for him, for a guy that's been out of music for a couple of years, to get out there and to give it a show like that.
Talking with Texas Stars captain Brad Lukowich right here, an exclusive interview on TexasStarsHockey.com. And before we let you go, we're going to shift gears a little bit to the hockey side of things here, and let's talk about where you are right now here at the end of August as far as training is concerned for you guys. Most of you guys are pretty much almost where you need to be. I mean, you're a couple weeks away from hitting the ice regularly.
Yeah, actually I'm skating later on today. I got some ice here Friday, Sunday, and then I'm going to head up to Dallas on Monday. A lot of the guys are showing up next week and the following week to get the regular training in up there with JJ and Jelly, and so we'll hit the ice and hit the weights a little bit. But really, this is the first summer I've had where I haven't been recovering from a surgery in 4 or 5 years. So for me, I feel great. This is the best summer I've had. I was working out a week after the season, so I basically just kept that going throughout, and I feel good, ready to go.
Well, let's quickly get an overview from you and what your thoughts initially are looking at this team on paper. When I look at it, I see two of the same goaltenders I saw last year, and I pretty much see the same decor coming back, which to me is the beginning of success when you go from the net out.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Our box was amazing last year, and then Besko just every single day, you could just see him maturing and becoming more of a professional, and the way he carried himself throughout. He was young and eager at the beginning, but you could tell the maturity, and I think he gets a little bit more now. And if he has a good summer, you're going to have two guys that are battling for a #1 spot. You couldn't be happier with that. On our back end, we got Lars, who's recovering from injury, whether he comes here all year or not. Dylan's another guy that's going to get a shot. Maxie, who's just always a steady guy that's a call up at any time. You got Benny, who's opened more eyes than the guys in this organization. He's become a really, really good defenseman, and these are all guys that could be playing there. So there's always an opportunity for these guys on other teams, and you never know. So up front, we've got a fairly young group of guys. Not a big thing, not a big issue, because a lot of these guys have been very successful on their teams. It's going to be a different look with the coaching. I understand that we're going to still have the same system that Gully had, which is going to be implemented up in Dallas. So for me, it's a lot easier for me to help these young guys, because not being a forward, I have a tough time really kind of telling them what to do. It's not really my job. So it'll be a lot easier on these guys. You'll be able to see it, and we can pass it around. The Ray Sawadas, even the Luke Gazdeks, the Seviers. These are the guys that are into their 3rd year now that are going to have to become those, turn into leaders, and actually start helping out with the younger guys, the younger forwards especially. And that's going to be a really good maturing process, and I think that's going to help bring our team together.
All right, Brad, thanks so much for your time. We greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Again, that's Brad Lukowich, the captain of the Texas Stars. I'm Josh Fisher. That's an exclusive interview that you can only watch right here on TexasStarsHockey.com.